so we are Team Waterproof. We've been working on an art installation piece for the Solar Studios that we are calling Water Booth. I'll let my team introduce themselves.
I'm Allison. Natalie. I'm Vanlith.
I'm Sam.
I'm Alec.
Great, and I'm Greg Allison. I'm the team lead. I'll hand it off to Allison to start us off and tell us who we're doing this with.
So our community partner this semester has been the Solar Studios, which is an art exposition space right here at Rice. It's solar powered and it hosts art by working artists as well as student art. And if you can go forward. So we've been working with some awesome project mentors, Richard Johnson, Rob Purvis, Taylor Knaps, along with Lena Dibb. A big thank you to them for all of the help they provided to us. Lena originally came to us with the idea of creating an installation for the Solar Studios around the idea of water consumption. And so to figure out how to do that, we started by doing some research, which Sam will talk more about.
So during our research, we found some pretty shocking statistics, the main one of which is that the average American has a water footprint of 700,000 gallons per year, and that 96% of this consumption is hidden water use. Hidden or invisible water use is water that you don't directly consume, but you consume indirectly through other consumption. So for example, when you eat a hamburger, you're not directly consuming any water, but a pound of beef requires 1,800 gallons of water to create. So you're consuming that water indirectly. So now that we know how much water we're consuming, let's look at who is consuming the water. So through our research, we developed these 3 user personas around different categories of people that would be coming to our art exhibit, and we considered the different ways that they approach their water consumption. So now that we had our research done, we began working on a how can we statement, which Natalie will take you through.
Okay, so our research basically all led us towards the same idea of focusing on the hidden water consumption and water footprint of people who don't necessarily realize all the water that they're using. So our how can we statement is how can we help the Rice community become more aware of their water consumption through an installation art piece at the Solar Studios. So we're really focusing on the theme of invisibility and making the invisible impacts of your actions on water systems more visible to the user. So now we wanted to focus on figuring out how exactly we do this and what defines success, which we're going to talk about.
After deciding on our theme, we came up with some design goals and measures of success. So in terms of design goals, we want our installation to be able to convey our distorted relationship with water and water consumption. And we also want it to be visually and experientially compelling. In terms of measures of success, we want our users to be able to understand our installation with the help of an explanation, and also for them to experience something very visceral when they are at the exhibit. So with our theme and our design goals in mind, we started sketching and designing an installation that would put the user at the center of their conscious water consumption. We also want to illuminate the fact that the person who is at the art exhibit is unaware of the larger infrastructure in the pipe system that converges onto their water footprint. And then we started testing.
So with these forms in mind, we went out into the field with some pretty cheap materials. We used like string lights and some fabrics that we found and tried to get an idea of what would be really impactful for someone who is using this installation. We came up with a few really important insights. We really like using light to represent water because that's very practical, it'll be easy to maintain, and it can be really impactful from like a large distance in the dark. We thought that the screen could enhance the water effect by using certain materials. So here you see 2 materials that we found like in a fabric shop laid over each other. One has like kind of a blue sheen to it in certain lights, and that serves to kind of give the user the idea that there's something beyond, but obscure it to kind of imitate the disconnect between your immediate water footprint and your extended water footprint and the system that you don't see every day. And we also realized that sound would be really important here, so we started to implement different sounds like dripping water, running water to kind of make the experience more visceral. And we also worked with different proportions, so you can see we tested different layouts of lights and then the length of the lights over here. And then we built a real prototype that would kind of imitate the physical space of the installation and the user experience. So we have this pedestal here that they step on, the frame surrounding it, which will be less visible in the final iteration. Here's our low fidelity screen, which is just like a cheap material we found, and then our rays of light. And in addition to this, we made a high fidelity visualization, which Greg is going to tell you more about.
Yeah, so this is water booth. As you can see, we have the pedestal here on the ground that glows, and then the screen extends up from it, and then the pipes of light on the ground converge at the pedestal to help elucidate that relationship that the infrastructure water you use is what enables you to use the water that you actually think you do use. So this is what it would look like at night when it's all lit up. So how someone would actually interact with this, we wanted them to kind of experience two sides